Hello, my beautiful twin flames, and welcome to your reading. So let's begin by saying, I hope you guys are doing great. But let us begin by gaining insight into your twin flame connection with everything that's going on out there in the world and with all the planets and the cycles of the moon. What is going on in your connection? Okay. We have the Death card. So before we continue, I just want to say that the Death card is never a card to fear. It's not a bad sign. It's not a bad omen. Rarely does it ever really symbolize actual physical death. The Death card is a beautiful card indicating an end of a cycle, an end of a way of being, even end of ego. And so the Death card is really about transitioning from the old into the new, rebirthing and letting go of what was and rebirthing something new, creating something new. So the fact that this card, just came up as the first card is a really powerful indication of what you have been going through in your own life. Things are transitioning, things are changing, even your own thoughts, even your own beliefs. I see this as your awakening to new beliefs, things that you maybe were not really paying attention to, I want to just say. So in your lives, you're just transitioning into this new you. You are being rebirthed. The old you is dying away. And so this very much impacts your twin flame connection, because as you transition and rebirth, it affects your twin flame. So it affects your connection in the sense that your connection is rebirthing into something new, into something more beautiful. Just think of a butterfly, how a caterpillar goes into this cocoon stage, kind of like their old self, their old physical, the cells of their bodies change and evolve in the darkness of their cocoon, and then they transition and rebirth into new life. So that is really what's happening. So as scary as the Death card seems, it's not what we think it is. It's always the dying of the old, but then there is renewal, there is rebirth. So I just really want to, I'm almost sure that I always mention in my readings that the Death card or the Tower card or the Devil card, they're never cards to be fearful from. And I remember back when I was younger, I was a teenager. I asked my dad to buy me a tarot card deck for the first time. So he bought me this card deck, and it was the Rider-Waite card deck. And it was one of the only ones that were available back then when I was, interested in tarot card reading. And when I looked at the images of the Death card, the Tower card, and the Devil card, right away, it triggered a fear response. And it was one of the reasons why I lost interest in doing tarot for many, many years. So I can understand how, tarot can, the images or the cards themselves trigger a fear response. However, what I just want to remind you is that fear is a natural part of being human, but we don't have to fear death. We don't have to fear the death card. We don't have to fear death. We don't have to fear. We can choose to see it in a different light. We can choose to see death as a transition into new life. So, with that being said, let's continue on. So I'm getting that the universe is really wanting you to really take notice of where your life is at and how you're feeling and what you're experiencing. Because I feel that even as a collective, even as a planet, we are going through some kind of end of a cycle. As a planet, we are going through some type of death and transition, because with all the changes that are happening, our old lives of how we experienced life and freedom and health and healthcare, things are changing. So it just makes sense that the universe is saying everything is changing, everything is transitioning, and it's not a bad thing. When we can look at the end of cycles as a new beginning, then we change our perspective of what's happening, and we don't have to be fearful. We can choose to see it in a better way that supports us, that supports our well-being. So your connection, our lives are really transitioning into something even more beautiful. And a lot of the times we're unable to see it because we're so used to the old cycle. We're so immersed in how things used to be that we cannot even imagine or fathom a new way of being. But I'm really powerfully getting from the universe that the universe wants you to know that life itself is transitioning into something more beautiful. And that is exactly what is happening with your twin flame connection. So let's gain more insight into what else is going on for twin flames at this time. What is going on for twin flames and what is going on in your connection. We have the Knight of Wands. So what I'm really picking up is like passion. If you could see the fire, the color, reds and oranges, it's really, I'm getting like, it's passion reawakening within you. And that is passion for love, for your twin flame, for connection, for oneness. There is this drive and desire for oneness. And so we can even compare this to what's going on in the world. After the end of a cycle comes this rebirth. So that energy of creation, that energy of rebirth. And with the Knight, it's like fast moving energy that's charging in whether we want it to or not. You know, for many of us, we may be looking at the old ways, and what's happening is that as we are holding on to the old ways, the energies are coming in that are pulling us to reawaken that passion, that drive. I'm just getting like this reawakening of your true selves, because naturally we are beings of passion. That's what drives us. That the passion and desire is what motivates us to move. When we have a desire for something, even if it's to go grab an apple in the fridge, that desire is motivation to get up and walk to the fridge and grab an apple. So this desire is momentum that is building and building. And that desire is part of what's creating. Whatever you are being propelled to is through your own desires, your emotion, what makes you feel better. That desire of wanting to feel better, of wanting to feel good, is that momentum, is that motivation. So your connection is also being reawakened. So your connection is on another cycle where the old way that it was in the world is now transforming and transitioning into a new reawakening of this desire and passion for oneness. So no matter what your situation is, whether you're together or apart, this desire is building within twin flames for oneness, for completion. And so this drive is what's motivating you to move forward in other areas of your life. So you'll feel this this reawakening of fire and passion by all of a sudden you're being directed to, expand your business, or focus more on your health, or focus more on balance and mindfulness and presence. That attention that you're giving to your own needs is that reawakening of what's happening with you, with your twin flame, with your connection, and with the world. So it's almost like your connection is going through this death and transitioning into this energy of creation, like when the caterpillar is in a cocoon, when a baby is being formed in the womb. It's this, we're going through this dark cycle, and this momentum of awakening is awakening creation. So it's a very powerful time because, again, with endings are new beginnings, and we all have the choice of what we want to create. So it's very important to be mindful of where our attention is, because if we want union, if we want long-lasting peace and harmony, we have to focus on that. We actually have to embody that into the very cells of our being so that we are creating that with our twin flame. It's very, when I do readings with this card deck, I can't remember what the name is, but whenever I do readings with this card deck, it just goes really deep. It's not really like every day, what's your twin flame doing? What are they feeling? It's like these cards just give me deeper insight. So yeah. Okay, let's take one more into what is going on in your connection. What is going on in your twin flame connection? What is going on in your connection? Okay, these two want to come out then. We have the Ace of Pentacles and we have the Four of Swords. So I love aces because it just really symbolizes and confirms this new beginning. Because again, as I mentioned, after the ending of a cycle is the beginning of a new cycle. And this is a beautiful cycle of abundance and prosperity, wellness, well-being, connection. So not only is this happening in your connection, it's happening like on our planet. It may seem very uncertain because we don't always see like the happily ever after of an outcome of what's going on in the world. But this reading is really going like for like collectively for us as humanity, as a consciousness. We are expanding and opening ourselves to the higher truths of who we are. And we are powerful, sentient beings. And we have power and control over ourselves and how we live our lives and how we choose and decide, our own fate. So no matter what type of readings you have, you are always able to choose. And no matter what is going on in your connection, you are always able to choose. Whatever is going on outside in the world, you are always able to choose what you welcome into your consciousness, what you welcome into your thoughts and your beliefs. That's what we have control over. And although sometimes we are influenced, that is very natural. However, again, we can choose our thoughts. And so when you're choosing wellness and well-being for yourself, for your connection, that is what you are manifesting. So this beautiful new beginning, and this is like the gates are opening up for you and your twin flame, for all of us. But for you and your twin flame, you're both opening up to the possibility of happiness, of true love, of unconditional love. Because when we have unconditional love for ourselves, having it for our twin flame is easy. It's having unconditional love for self and everything that encompasses. So the gates are now opening again with this ending of a cycle with how we were living as a planet is all coming to an end, only to rebirth into this golden era of empowerment, of balance, of harmony. And that is what is happening energetically, even if we don't really see it yet, even if we don't believe it. But again, we can choose what to look for. We can choose to take in what the positive changes and not focus so much on what we don't want to see. So we are creating new connections. We are creating relationships filled with unconditional love, because we are finally learning how to love ourselves. We were never really taught how to love ourselves. We were never really taught how to make sure that we satisfy our own needs, because only then, through filling our own cups of love, then it overflows and then we can give and help others. From my own personal experience, I was always about giving to others first, helping others before you help yourself. And we just know that from, in an emergency situation on an airplane, that you have to first put the oxygen mask on yourself and then you're able to assist others. That's something like a metaphor for how we need to learn to live our lives, is to give our own self-sustenance. And just by doing that, we help others and it just overflows. So the next card is the Four of Swords, which is really confirming that it's all about balance, because when I see this card, it's about rest and having the time and space to regenerate, to rejuvenate, to rejuvenate ourselves. And that's why this end has to happen, so that we can go and build this cocoon, nurture ourselves, sustain ourselves, and then we are rebirthed into our new selves. We are rebirthed in alignment with our higher selves. So your connection is maybe on a pause, and sometimes it's just like your connection needs a break to rejuvenate, to resuscitate, is that the word? To like bring life back. And so your connection, when it's on pause, it means that both you and your twin flame need this time out to heal, to recover, to take care of things that we weren't able to take care of. So that's healing, health, the health of our home, the health of our finances. It's about maintaining that balance. And sometimes when there's too much togetherness, too much focusing on each other, and too much focus on the relationship, other relationships naturally will begin to deteriorate. So relationship to self will deteriorate. Relationship to health, to money, all will deteriorate because so much focus is on our twin flame and the connection. So this is really a necessary time for both you and your twin flame to take a break from the connection. And it doesn't mean to break up or, move apart or end the connection. It just means to rejuvenate your connection. And what's the best way to rejuvenate is by rejuvenating ourselves. So ideally, a nice day for you at the spa, and your twin flame, it does something that nurtures them, that really feeds their soul and their spirit and their body. When you both do that, when we all do this, then of course we are going to rebirth into our new sense of who we are, our new way of being. So what is happening in your connection is really what is going on in the world. We may be on pause. We may not be, depending on where you are in the world, having the social aspect somewhat changed, is allowing us to give time and space to go within. And that's how we can look at it, is that things are happening so that we can go within and say, well, if I want my world to change, I need to change. And change, it doesn't mean that there's anything wrong. It just means what isn't working that supports the world? What isn't working that doesn't support me being at my optimum best? And that's just what transition is. Change doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with you. It doesn't mean that there's anything wrong. It just means we have to look at things differently and allow for this transition to take us into this new golden era of what we truly deserve. And that is a world of peace and harmony and health and well-being and unity and union. Because it's very natural for whatever we're not focusing on to get out of balance, to become not in harmony. Yeah, so this reading's going really like on a global sense, but I'm just picking up, the energies of the messages that want to come out for you. So yeah, so let's continue on and let's try to get more specific. But I just go with the energies of where the where the messages are going. So let's gain some more insight into where is your twin flame at? Where is your twin flame at on their journey? Where is your twin flame at on their journey? Where is your twin flame at on their journey? We have the Six of Wands. Take one more. Okay, we have two more. We have the Judgment and we have the Ace of Wands. So another ace, which is beautiful because, you know, this is a new beginning. It's confirming the new beginning that you're going through. So your twin flame, when I see the Six of Wands, this is a card of victory. Your twin flame is overcoming some of their challenges that were preventing you from being together. So this is also mirroring within you. So your twin flame is, I'm getting better able to cope with whatever was holding them back. There was something that was holding them back in their lives that was preventing you. It was like the main reason why you were in separation, or you had to separate, or there was some disharmony in your connection. They are getting out of that. They are victorious. I want to say that they are more optimistic about their lives, which positively impacts your connection, because that shift in vibration brings them more into alignment with who they are, therefore more in alignment with you and your connection. So I love seeing this for all of us because this is victory. We are seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. We are more than hopeful. We are optimistic. And even if all the evidence in the 3D world, in the outside world, doesn't reflect that, with all the intense energies on the planet, that is what is reawakening within us. This, the spark within us of life. So it's more than just hope. It's the truth. That's what I'm getting. Twin flames are awakening to the truth. So the truth of, you know, who you are. You are their true love. The truth of you are meant to be. The truth of even if circumstances separate you or there's disharmony, you are always one. So you're connecting even more, especially if you're in separation. You're just having this knowingness of the truth of your connection. So that is beautiful. And with the Judgment card, I feel like yeah, their thoughts and feelings are more balanced. I feel like they're being I'm getting like there's this liberation of not being worried about being judged in that sense, and like in the literal sense. Like they're not really, it's not so important about, oh my gosh, how am I going to look, or how's this going to look? It's like that whole vibration is kind of like out the door. It's like passé. It's like, why should we care what other people think? It's our lives, it's our happiness. And it's not to be disrespectful or inconsiderate. It's just that's not where the focus is anymore. The focus is not on how is this going to look? How is this going to seem? What are people going to think of me? I feel this card is being more true to who you are. They're being more true to who they are themselves. And I'm seeing this even in the world, even on social media. People are being more vulnerable, being more open with the truth of who they are, not trying to be someone that they're not. So I'm really getting that your twin flame is really being who they are. And as they embrace that, whatever their situation is that is keeping them from you naturally falls away, because that circumstance was built on them not being true to who they are, was being like putting on a mask and trying to be someone else or something else. And now that they're being in their truth, circumstances will just fall away because it doesn't support, the truth of who they feel they are. So they're being more truthful when it comes to your connection of what your connection is, even if they're not like consciously aware of it, but in their own lives they're just being truthful with themselves. I love that. And then we have the Ace of Wands. So new beginning, and this is just like a new era, a new dawn is emerging. Like in your connection, you've gone through a full cycle of going through the lessons that were necessary. And as like this is just in combination with this passion, this drive for completion, for oneness. So your twin flame is really driven for completion, to feel complete. So I feel like this new cycle is more self-discovery of how to feel more complete in their lives. So this is also mirroring within you. And wanting completion means wanting union even more, wanting that oneness, wanting that completion with you. So despite what it may seem like on the outside, they are really driven with this motivation to get to completion, to get to oneness and wholeness. And that oneness and wholeness, in the end is with you. That is like the ultimate, union, which only symbolizes our desire and union for oneness with Source. So, yeah, so much energy coming through. Okay, so let's see what is there. Let's get some inner child clarity into what's going on in your connection. Inner child clarity into how your inner child is affecting your twin flame connection. How is your inner child affecting your twin flame connection? We have the Devil card. Again, it's not a card to fear or to, feel despair. And then we have another Ace of Swords. Okay, so I'm getting the sense that as part of this ending of a cycle that we had with the Death card, it may feel like, for many of us, like reverting back to old patterns, unhealthy ways of thinking, unhealthy ways of being. We've grown so much on the journey, and yet we find ourselves still reverting back to old emotions, to old patterns, to old habits. So for many of us, we may be experiencing this or struggling with this because we're coming to the end of this cycle. So with the inner child is still attached to this old world, our old way of being. So our inner child will continuously pull us back, so that we feel like we're stuck, like we're not able to move forward. We're not able to implement new changes as quickly as we like, because the devil card is about like attachment. I'm also picking up like fears, insecurities, stuff really from our ego. So our ego, in a sense, our inner child is still holding on to, the old ways, old fears coming up. And so this may also be blocking union, because your inner child is fearful of this change and rebirth. Like all of these aces are indicating like a new cycle, and the inner child is feeling this fear of this, well, what's going on? Everything, nothing seems the same, and it's so uncertain. I feel like this feeling of uncertainty is what's causing a lot of anxiety in all of us, on the planet, because we don't know how things are going to turn out. So there's a lot of anxiety that is stemming from the wounds of our inner child. So again, this needs to be addressed. It needs to be cleared away, so that there are no emotional or energetic blocks that are blocking you from moving forward in life and in your connection. And so the Ace of Swords is your inner child is wanting your communication, wanting to what is the word, like wanting to know that you know that they exist, wanting not recognition, but your inner child just wants your presence, to validate that they are within you, that they are present in your life. They want your acknowledgement, is what I'm getting. So even if that is checking in and asking your inner child how they're feeling, will help you process your fears and your emotions as well. But they're really needing to have their existence validated. And how do we know that the inner child really exists? Well, our inner child exists and engages in the world through our physical body. So one example is our bodily functions. If we have to use the washroom, there's no matter how much control we have, our bodies have to go when we have to go. That's part of like when we are children, when we are babies, it's like we don't have control over that. Well, still now, sometimes we don't have control over that. It's like the body needs to go to the bathroom when the body needs to go. So it's like, that's how we know that there is that part of us in the physical sense. How do we know emotionally? Because we still get triggered with the same triggers that we had as children. We still have fears. We still feel the pain of rejection. We still feel the pain of not being accepted. So that's how we know that there is that part of us that relates to our childhood, that is our inner child. So the inner child wants acknowledgement, because again, the ego fears death. The inner children fear death. So it's very understandable that the inner child is doing whatever it can to get your attention, and pulling their attention from you is like pulling energy away from union, or pulling energy away from what you want to create. because your inner child is wanting, keeps trying to pull your attention. It's like when little children, tug on your on your pants or your dress or your skirt, and they're like, pay attention to me. This is the energy of your inner child. Pay attention to me. So there's not going to be any energy left to create what you want, to move forward, to focus on harmony and balance, because your inner child is saying, pay attention to me. So these are patterns and emotional blocks that, again, they hold us back, not only from union, but from moving forward in our lives, in new things. Because again, the inner child fears this new cycle. And so the inner child will stay rigid and not want expansion, will not be open to change. So these blocks, these emotional blocks, these emotional patterns really need to be addressed, because it is something that exists within all of us. And once they are unblocked, then we are able to move forward fearlessly and without being attached to, the past. Okay, so what is coming up for you that you need to know? What is coming up for you that you need to know for this week? What is coming up for you? What is coming up for you? We have the Hanged Man. So again, this is not a card to be fearful of. Let's take another one. What do you need to know that is coming up for you? Queen of Pentacles. So what I'm really seeing is you're going to be gaining some clarity into your connection. You're actually going to see how things have happened, how they have occurred, that was necessary. It's like you're just going to have these aha moments when it comes to your twin flame. You're going to have like this new understanding of your connection. You're going to see how you were being held back. That not only was it, not only was your twin flame holding back, but you were also holding back. You're going to have this clarity. You're going to see where you were stuck. And in recognizing it is totally liberating, will help you liberate yourself from feeling stuck in your connection. So over the next week, you're going to see and maybe connect to signs or hear messages from the universe that will point out to you where you were feeling stuck or held back. So that is so very exciting. And then with the Queen of Pentacles, I feel like you are stepping into this power of, taking your power back, of really knowing that you are sovereign in your world, that you call the shots, that you can create your abundance, you can create wellness, you can create union. And over the next week, you are going to feel this energy of empowerment. You are going to be able to be more open to receiving. You are also going to feel like this energy is overflowing to everyone around you. Like this generosity of spirit, of love, of unconditional love. You're going to get more of a sense of that, and it's just going to pour out from within you. So that is so very beautiful. This will positively impact your connection, because the more self-love, the more self-awareness we have, the more it brings us into alignment, and it brings our connection into alignment. So that is beautiful. Oh, I can't believe how long this reading is. I'm just going to get a few cards for message from your twin flame. Message from your twin flame. I apologize for this reading being so long. Message from your twin flame. Message from your twin flame. Justice. So your twin flame wants you to know that things are balancing, and on a higher sense, they are doing everything that they can to make things right, to bring harmony, peace, and balance to your connection. They're doing whatever they need to do in their lives to ensure that your connection is brought back into balance. So even if that is, having to be in separation to learn more lessons to on how to get back into balance, how to have unconditional love, how to forgive, how to self-love by putting them in situations that are in integrity with who they are, with wellness, with well-being. So they're really wanting you to know that they want to bring harmony back into your connection, and that they are doing what is necessary, even if it doesn't feel like it, even if it doesn't look like it, that they are restoring balance back into your connection. And however, what was happening made you feel will also come back into balance. Like, so if there was a lot of pain that was brought up, they want you to know that it wasn't for nothing, that balance, that pain will be brought back into balance, and that balance will be restored and you will be happy again. So whatever is happening is because balance is being restored. And if we keep that perspective, then we can let go of any pain, any hurt, any resentment, like from the past, from our childhood, residual from past lives. So they want you to know that they're going to bring balance and harmony back into your connection. So for you to be supportive of that and look at that in that sense, rather than on, mistakes that were made, or if it's not appearing that they're doing anything, to just focus on the higher truth of balance being restored. And they're doing that even when they're not conscious of it. They are being guided, and they are reawakening to the truth of your connection, because they're awakening to the truth of who you are. So they're bringing this balance back, regardless of how it looks like in the 3D. They are bringing balance back to your connection. And this is a beautiful indication that they are looking forward to union with you. That they're not just sitting idly by, just not doing anything or being oblivious. Their consciousness has awakened, and the drive and momentum is based on love. And that love is, connection to you. So that is their message for you. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this twin flame reading. Again, thank you so much for joining me, and please subscribe and like these videos. Please share them. There are a lot of other twin flames out there that, are looking for guidance, just how we are all looking for guidance. So that will really not only help others, but it will also help my channel and to get this message out there to others. So I just want to thank you for being on this journey with me, for being the love warriors that you are, for, you know, taking a stand for unconditional love, because that is truly what will help to heal our planet. So great job. I am so honored and proud to walk beside each and every one of you. So in saying that, please do book your personal twin flame reading with me. I do have a slew of inner child healing videos that are always made available for you. So please message me to purchase them. And they really help to unlock and release those emotional blocks that we don't even realize are there. I've designed these videos because I myself went through this process. I went through the therapy, the inner child therapy, and I went through spiritual and energetic healing. And through my experience, I developed these healing energies for you. And many of my clients that I've worked with, some of them I've worked with over the last couple of years, but they are very powerful because healing, again, is a journey. It just doesn't happen overnight. And I have clients that I've worked with that are now in physical union with their twin flame, and even married. They've gotten married, whereas when we first started working together, their twin flame was way off in left field, not even, you know, there was a lot of healing that happened for both of them. And so they are now married. And this, all the knowledge of what I learned, I put into my online course of what how I guided my clients to come into union. I've put this into a 12-week course, which is available to you. So please message me to purchase the online course. I'm so excited to share this with you so that you also can continue on this journey with guidance and clarity and support and empowerment, so that you can experience oneness, wholeness, and union with your twin flame. Because that is my wish for you. That is my wish for all of us twin flames, to be in long-lasting, harmonious union. But first, that must happen within ourselves. And then we're able to create that. So please do message me. It would be my honor to support each and every one of you. It is part of my mission to guide twin flames back into union. So again, thank you so very much. And until next time, I'm wishing you all so much love and peace.